Imagine that you're Indiana Jones and you have found the Lost Ark. That is exactly what happened to Kieran McCarthy, the Faberge expert here in Wartsky, where we are today. He got a call from a blue-collar Midwest American telling him that he might just be in possession, accidentally, of the lost third Imperial Easter egg. Not seen for over a century, today marks his first public showing in 112 years.
This is the first time it's been seen in public for just over 112 years. And since 1922, when the Russians, well, not the Russians, the Bolsheviks, the revolutionaries sold it, it disappeared. And this is the first time that it's going to have been shown again since then. This is one of the 50 Imperial Faberge Easter eggs that were made by Karl Faberge, the jeweler, to the goldsmith, to the Imperial Court of Russia, for Tsars Alexander III and Nicholas II. And of those eggs, a number of them were missing and thought to have been destroyed, and this egg is one of the newly discovered Faberge egg and one of the missing ones. There's a number of reasons. I think the two primary ones are the craftsmanship. As a work of art, it's an exemplary piece of goldsmithing, perhaps one of the best pieces of goldsmithing in existence, but that's only half the story. The other half of it is the patronage, and they are an intimate part of Romanov history, and they're the last gasp of Imperial Russian patronage, as you have all of the romance and mystery that surrounds Imperial Russia colliding with this great goldsmith, and the product of that collision, that sort of cataclysmic collision, were these Easter eggs. And it is very much a hen's egg, but of course when you press a diamond, because only a Tsarina can only press a diamond, up it flips, and inside is a watch, the watch by Vacher and Constantin, which led him to search for it. And if we close it and take the stand up, because although this is a very simple form, it's an incredibly difficult piece of goldsmithing, but it's only half the story, because not only do we have the egg itself, we also have its stand. And the stand is a far more elaborate piece of skill and craftsmanship. And if you see, it's actually encircled by 4 coloured gold roses. And they are very, very delicately made, and it's almost like a jigsaw of gold that's been put together to create them. And it's sat then on this tripod, and the tripod rests upon lion paw feet. And if you see the feet here, they're beautifully rendered, but one of the most magical aspects is if you turn it over, even the pads of the soles of the feet are represented. And of course, when it was sat like that, it was something the Tsarina would never have seen, yet that attention to detail has been paid. He actually found it at a junk sale where he paid $14,000 for it, a price that was based not upon its glorious past and history, but only on its intrinsic value. And he found this, and then he eventually began thinking, well, this must be something more, there's got to be something to it. And so he put the 2 search terms into Google, of all places, and he put Vacher and Constantin, which is the watch inside the egg, and then he put egg into the internet. And when he put that in, he came across reams of research which Wartsky had taken part in, identifying this as one of the missing Easter eggs. Galvanized by that, he got on a plane, came over, and walked in here, unable to talk, with a sheaf of photographs, and presented them to me. And it was a sort of moment of complete shock and bewilderment, because here, these objects, which are the targets of our hopes, obsessions, and dreams, was being presented to me. Again, it's that shock and bewilderment. It's almost like being a spectator outside, watching somebody else find a missing treasure. And it was spine-tinglingly exciting. Slightly carefully to confirm it once we'd actually handled it, but at that point I knew it was the egg. The wonderful aspects is the man who found it is very, very modest and unassuming and lovely. The man who's bought it is obviously quite wealthy and able, but he's also unassuming and lovely too. And so at both ends of the spectrum, from the man who found it to the man who has eventually bought it, there's just a great deal of warmth and joy at having this egg in their lives. Fundamentally celebrations of the Russian Orthodox Easter, but with that they were also coupled as gifts, and so they were gifts to the Tsar, the Tsarinas from the Tsars, their loved ones, but they were gifts at Easter time, so it's a combination of both sacred and intimate object which is being exchanged at Easter at the very highest levels of Russian society, and I think that's where the appeal of them comes from, because they are the direct products of that society.
My Easter eggs will probably not be as good of art as this is, but I'm sure I will, as usual, enjoy my egg hunt this year. Thank you for joining us.